Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are in Camp Overlook. Just dealt with Titan, and let's see how we continue. What else, Serenia? I trust you had a good night's rest? I was but this moment speaking with Thancred and Ishtola via Linkpal. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their respective investigations, both came across crates which had borne Ishgardian seals. It would seem that someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. Accordingly, the Temple Knights have launched a full-scale investigation. Sir Emmerich believes it's only a matter of time before the culprits are found, but we shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look into the recent activities of the other tribes, in case they too are flush with Ishgardian crystals. And with that in mind, I suggest we pay Urianger another... Wait, where's Alisaie? She was here a moment ago, with Gabu. So... back there. Let me guess. It's time to leave, isn't it? My apologies for disappearing again. If it's any consolation, I've already packed my things. How is he? Brother? Commander Blöden? Something tells me you are not solely here out of concern for his welfare. But to answer your question, there's been no change. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even sure if he slept. If he did, he seems none of the better for it. He just shuffles about with the same expression on his face. You will look after him, won't you, Commander? And treat him with every kindness? He's still in there, I know it. Beneath the anguish and the despair, he's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given that chance. Until he comes back to us. Until we know for certain what has become of him. Aye, you needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out a damn sight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that. Nor will Maestro in command. I'm so sorry, Gabu. I truly am. You should never have been made to... And I know I cannot possibly understand. Mayhap there's nothing I can do or say. The pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast onto the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst. Let it burst and fill up again with your love for them. And never, ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them. And you, Alisaie. Thank you. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him. In time he will recover. And those who orchestrate these events will be made to answer for their crimes. A thousand times over, aye. There will be a reckoning. And back to Urianger. We have heard the glad tidings from Ogomora, my friends. By the grace of the 12th and your most valiant efforts, the people of Limsa may rest easy. I should like to think so, yes. But we failed to prevent the Lord of Cracks from manifesting. We did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the warriors of darkness could make matters worse. It was by no means an unmitigated success, but it will have to suffice. Then let us speak of another matter, one which weighs heavy on my lady's mind. As for Odid's request, I sought out the Garon oracles that we might better understand the aims of the warriors of darkness. Though their copious amount of allegory defies any single interpretation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture, one of parallel worlds parallel to our own, apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times they did succeed. Then of 10 and 3 only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Minfilia spake unto thee. As for what becometh of these reflections when they and the source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call, to flow unto the endless sea, there to endure as one and none. But if the warriors of darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die? In essence, aye. The first speaks of a renunciation of the flesh and subsequent return to the life stream. However, the fate may yet be preferable to the alternative, for if a first were to fall to transcendent light in the manner the warriors of darkness described, it would give way to unto a void wherein none may know either life or death. Far better to die, they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul which returneth unto the source may be born anew, saved. Such at least is their belief, I surmise. If that is true, then gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. Ere we speak further on this subject, I would share with thee another recent discovery. It would seem that several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of certain Ala Mhigan parties. Ala Mhigans? Strange. And you believe this to be the work of the same Ishgardian smugglers who supplied the beast stripes? I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, and lest thou wonder at the motive, I would remind you that the Astians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Ralga. Right, what was it, level 30 quest or something? The individuals who took receipt of their shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of Ala Mhigan liberation. It may also interest thee to know that the Ishgardian supplies appear to be none other than the remnants of a lean world's network of spies. Surely a jest! And yet, it is not so surprising. Bereft of leadership and hunted by the Alliance, I can well imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Astians, assuming they even know or care who their new employers are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me, we must seek out the resistance group which received the crystals without delay. Serenia, Alisaie, will you come with me to Little Ala Mhigo? Yes, of course. I would like to hear what they have to say for themselves. First hand. May you ever walk in the light of a crystal. Alphino, Alisaie, Serenia, are you three listening? Good, I have tidings. The Temple Knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. A cursory interrogation of the prisoners yielded confirmation that they were in the employ of, and I hope you are sitting down, a man in black robes. Then you have them? And the crystals too? What few remained, aye. Regrettably, it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. It was bound for Little Ala Mhigo, we are told, where it will be received by members of a local resistance group. Since Sir Emmerich's men no longer have need of my services, I have a mind to head that way. As do we, by happy coincidence. We learned of a shipment but a few moments ago. Ha! And there I was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of a warrior of light and her little helpers. Ah, wait a moment, there's more, and then I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. The leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly in the employ of Alisaie, the infamous Ivy herself. Once again, Thancred, I fear I must inform you that... Thancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers? No one. As I think I mentioned, the wait was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact Ishtola next, but is there someone else you would have me notify first? No, there isn't. So, from where does Urianger know? Unless perhaps from the warriors of darkness themselves, or the Ascians. What in the world has gotten into her? It is twice now that we sought Urianger's aid, and twice she treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of Grandfather's most dedicated pupils, and spent as much time at the Leveilleur estate as we did. He was practically a member of the family. Truth be told, I struggle to recall a day from my childhood when I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter. Later though. Little Ala Mhigo awaits. I will get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me. It has been a long day. Did you have something to say? Urianger? Oh, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head. Now more than ever. Listen, Serenia, if anything should happen, it should be me who... Just know that I'm prepared to do what must be done. Right then. To more pressing matters. Since we have no idea when Thancred might arrive, I suggest we seek what information we can gather in his absence. When we were free. So I review. We are reliably informed that members of the Ala Mhigan resistance are operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals. Our task being to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the resistance movements. The challenge, of course, will be finding individuals who are both able and willing to share such information with outsiders. It would seem sensible to divide our forces. Serenia, why don't you question the residents in the eastern half of town? Alisaie and I will do the same in the west, and afterwards we can rendezvous here to share our findings. Why don't you let me talk with, what was his name? Gundobald, he knows me already. The resistance? Damn if I know. It's not as if I'd be any use to them. If you set store by all these tales of secret weapons, good luck to you, but I'm too old for a mask's bedtime story. This is our lot. And it's time we got used to it. Secret weapons, huh? I see you there, going around asking questions. Looking for the griffin and it's a lot, I bet. Seems the talk of Little Ala Mhigo these days. Folk wondering what he's about, what he's got in store for the Guardians, and what's under that mask of his, of course. Some say he's hardly got a face with all the scars. Others reckon he's been marked for death by the empires and that they'd send a bloody legion if they knew he was here. Your guess is as good as mine. Let me guess. Come to join the fight, have you? No need to deny it, friend. You're not the first to answer the griffin's call. While he's lit a fire in every Ala Mhigan heart, he's also inspired more than a few Uldans to pledge himself to a cause. And little wonder the Guardians won't stop until we are all under the yoke. I suppose I should ask what you learned, but I think I already know. Yeah, masked man with a secret weapon or something like that. This griffin seems to be the leader of a newly formed faction within the Resistance. The Masks. Yet despite their growing popularity, no one seems to know much about them, only that they are the most aggressively militant group to join the movement in recent history. Indeed, many claim their commitment to the cause of Ala Mhigan liberation is unrivaled. We can but hope their revolutionary fervor is never channeled in the direction of a primal. Though I feel confident that this is the group which received the crystal shipments, we yet lack proof. Before taking any action, I would speak with the settlement's leader to confirm my suspicion, and mayhap enlist his help while I'm about it. Given that you and Gundobald are already acquainted, mayhap it would be best if you took the lead. Shall we? Much as it pleased me to see you again, Serenia, I cannot help but wonder if I should be worried. I hear you and yours have been asking questions. The Griffin? I know of him, as do we all. He and his mask have become a leading faction within the Resistance. Though there was suspicion at first given his secretive ways, he quickly proved himself a charismatic and capable commander. Men are drawn to his passion and his vision. They truly believe that he has what it takes to lead them to victory. Even I cannot help but admire the man for what he's accomplished. But I have not forgotten Wilvet. I was blind to the danger of his ambitions, and you were not. The Griffin will soon deliver a speech to our people at the sunken temple of Khan. Go and see him with your own eyes. Weigh his words with your own heart. How convenient. 'Tis but a pity Thancred is not here to join us. You two go ahead. I shall stay behind and wait for him. I don't know. Alisaie staying behind as messenger girl? This doesn't seem like something she would be volunteering for. But maybe she would prefer to be alone with her thoughts regarding this Urianger thing. Has it already begun? I hear voices coming from within. So that's him?
Brothers and sisters, 20 years ago, Ala Mhigo, our home, was claimed by the Garlean Empire. In our haste to overthrow the King of Ruin, we turned a blind eye to our foes in the north. With our glorious revolution, we but laid a path for a new tyrant to succeed the old. And when confronted with our failure, we fled. Not a day goes by that I do not think of those we left behind. Think of them and feel ashamed. And I know each and every one of you feels the same. We abandoned them, our own flesh and blood, to labor till their backs gave in and their breath gave out. Building the twisted steel ramparts which now mar our once majestic mountains. We abandoned them, the brave and true, to fight and die for their country, or worse, to be conscripted and sent off to rob another poor bastard of his home. We abandoned them, the meek and powerless, to bow and scrape when the Garleans pass, to sully themselves that they might live to see another day of misery. The Black Wolf may be dead, but a new Imperial Viceroy reigns in Ala Mhigo now. A beast, not a fraction as merciful.
Yeah, I still believe Gaius von Beda was actually a pretty good man. Even if he bought into that Garlean agenda.
You all know the Eorzean Alliance will do naught to oppose him. For all their promises and platitudes, they will not act if there's no profit in it. Only we can free our brothers and sisters from the Empire's tyranny, my friends. Only we have the courage to stand and fight. They have imprisoned us, they have enslaved us, and they have murdered us. But no more! Blood demands blood, and the Garleans shall pay for every drop they have spilt upon our lands. This I promise you. For we have a power within us, my friends. A power befitting our pride, our righteousness. Only join us, and we shall grant you the means to unleash it. And together, we shall see the Ala Mhigan standard raised over the mountains of Gia Arbania once more.
A power befitting their pride. Not at all ominous, that.
Yeah.
Wait, is that...
Ida?
What are you two doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, well, this is quite the surprise.
If you see what I see, if you feel as I feel...
Might I suggest we continue this conversation in more agreeable surroundings?
For it is not strength of arms that will win this battle, but strength of heart.
Platitudes. The Griffin, I mean. Words cannot express how glad I am to see you both alive and well. And you, though it was pretty obvious you and Serenia would be fine. The Crystal Braves never had a realistic chance of capturing any of the science divided as they were and distrusted by the better part of Eorzea. But if you truly believe that... Forgive me, what exactly have you two been doing all this time? We're paying a favor. After the banquet we had no choice but to flee Uldar, and we would have not been able to do so without the aid of some old friends from the Resistance. That's right. We smuggled us out of the city and sheltered us in Little Ala Mhigo, all at great risk to themselves. Obviously we couldn't let that go unacknowledged, so we offered to help them out with their operations for a while. And when we learned the science exoneration, that Lord Lorito had severed all ties with the Crystal Braves and that General Wauban had been reinstated, we resolved to make contact, but having long since discarded our link pearls as a precautionary measure, our options were rather limited. To make matters more complicated, we were embroiled in a delicate operation at the time, leaving me with little choice but to entrust a letter to a courier. I gather from your puzzled expressions, however, that you never received it. To be honest, we thought that might happen. While the masks are happy to let the refugees spread the word within the community, they are pretty strict about communicating with outsiders. Oh, and we also heard a rumor that the Griffin doesn't want us meddling in his affairs. The Griffin mistrusts the science of the Seventh Dawn. Curious, it is well known that we are no friends to Garlemald. One would think the man we saw beseeching all and sundry to join his cause would welcome our support. But I am sorry to say that the man you saw was not in fact the Griffin, but an impersonator, and a talented rabble-rouser to boot. It would not surprise me if he were responsible for the majority of the public appearances. As you may have gathered, the Griffin is an extremely cautious and distrusting man, who has made every effort to conceal his identity. Even when we participated in a raid under his direct command, we were not permitted to approach him. It's hard to know what to make of it all. The secrecy, the impersonators, the masks. What? It's not as if I'm making all of you wear one, and mine only covers half my face. It's completely different. Anyway, when we heard the Griffin was due to give a speech, we thought it might be a good opportunity to get a better sense of a man behind the, For all the good it did. And now we have heard the whole of it. But tell me, what prompted you to take an interest in the Griffin? Yeah, Crystal said... Summoning? You can't be serious. I can't believe it. The Resistance would never even entertain such a ridiculous plan. But the Griffin? Well, the man is an enigma. I cannot say with any confidence what he would or would not do. What I can say, however, is that the speech we heard today was not the first to make reference of a power capable of defeating the Empire. The masks have made many such claims of late. I confess I had assumed it to be mere bluster, but in the context of the shipments of which you spoke, it is not impossible that they are alluding to a primal. Whatever it is, we'll find it out together, and if anyone tries to stop us, they'll answer to me. Indeed. That is, assuming you'll have us. Welcome home, friends. And I think I end this episode right here. And next time we continue here. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.